What's going on, folks? So today we're going to be taking a look at the Clarisea, which this is a automatic fleece filter. What these fleece filters do is they basically remove particles from the water column. So microalgae, detritus, uneaten food, organic waste, basically anything that is free floating in your aquarium, this guy is going to remove it. It acts very similar to a filter sock, but for those of us like myself that are not disciplined enough to constantly be changing out filter socks, this is where something where a automatic filter that is going to remove particles from your aquarium water is going to help you out tremendously. Alright, so right on top you have your assembly guide. There's quite a bit to that, a little bit more than I expected. You have a huge roll of fleece, huge roll. I bet you that's going to last you a really long time. And then you have a box, another box, and then another box. So there's quite a bit of assembly required with the Clarisea from what I'm gathering. So this is going to take a little bit of time. Alright guys, so you saw just a few seconds ago there is quite a bit of assembly that goes into putting a Clarisea Gen 2 together. And to be completely honest, it is a little overwhelming when you first open the box, but I can definitely tell you it's not as bad as it may seem. It is something that you're going to have to be honest with yourself whether or not it is something that you want to put the time in to actually put this together. It is a very solid piece of equipment once it is put together. The total setup time for the Clarisea was about 20 minutes for me, and I did find that the picture instructions weren't that useful, but they do have a link to their website where there's a bunch of YouTube videos that are very helpful in assembling this product and putting it together. And I will be putting the D&D developments video for the Clarisea setup, so if you guys want to check that out, there's going to be a link to that in the description below. The acrylic work on the Clarisea is absolutely phenomenal. It's very precise and everything lines up exactly the way that it should. So that was one thing that made the assembly process of the Clarisea Gen 2 much easier for me. Alright, so let's talk real briefly about how the Clarisea actually works. Here on the back side, you have some cables, but more importantly, down here at the bottom, you have this plumbing. Now, water is going to be coming out of your aquarium and then plumbed into this elbow, then go into the Clarisea filter. As water comes down into the plumbing and then is pushed into the Clarisea filter, everything that is in your tank that goes through your overflow is going to pass through this section and then essentially come out the bottom. What happens as food debris, detritus, everything basically floating around in your water comes through this filter, these cloth sheets are going to become clogged. As they become clogged, the water level will start to rise. The light blue auto switch in the back will rise up, and as it rises up, it will initiate the motor on this roller and then pull new fleece off from this roll down into the filter chamber until the water level starts to drop. Once the water level drops, that auto switch in the back will drop down. It will shut off the pump on this roller, and then the water will continue to pass through this filter. One of the things I like about the Clarisea is this little guy down here. So let's say that you have your return pump not set up on your feed mode. You have this option right here. Open this up and there's not going to be as much clogging going on in your fleece roll as you would as if you just shut it. It also has, it's kind of hard to see because it's so clear, but it does have these hang-on inserts. Basically on the other side, on this side of the Clarisea, they grab into, and you can set it at all sorts of different heights depending on what you have for room to work with. You can hang your Clarisea by these attachments and it's going to raise it up in your sump if you have that ability. And you also can just have this sitting in your sump plumbed into the Clarisea and it's going to work the same way. It's basically, depending on how you need it to work, you can do a number of different things. A lot of people usually have questions whether or not that if the clogged fleece that's on this side that has food, detritus and all that stuff kind of gummed up in it,
People usually ask if it gets smelly, and typically it doesn't because it is drying, and as long as that moisture isn't being held in there, you're not going to have much smell at all. So the Clarisea is a great option for everybody who isn't disciplined like myself in removing filter socks as often as they should. This is a device that is going to help alleviate the problems that are associated with filter socks, and it is a absolute great option to help you have absolutely crystal clear water in your reef tank. So that's our look at the Clarisea Gen 2. If you guys want to pick one of these up, there's going to be a link down in the description below. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you again next time right here with a brand new product.